Good evening, Year 11. This is your night before news for your Maths Paper 2 higher exam tomorrow morning. Getting straight into it then, what will be in the exam? As you know, anything could come up from anything you've studied so far in maths, but as we sit the papers, we can try to be a little bit clever in how we guess what will come up next, or predict, I should say, what will come up next. So we can think about high frequency topics. We can also think about topics that have already come up. Are they likely to come up again? In some cases, yes. And obviously the examiners can do what they want. But in some cases, there are topics that come up every year. And if we haven't seen them yet, we can kind of be more confident that they will come up in paper 2 or paper 3. So what came up in paper 1? This is a list of everything that came up in paper 1. Obviously, we can't expect not to see all of these things again because you've got things in there like there's lots of algebra in there, there's some percentages, there's some ratios and fractions, and it's likely that we'll see some of those questions again. But although we can't say for certain the topics that have already appeared will not come up again, I think it does make sense to revise topics that have not yet been seen. So although there's no guarantee that they will actually come up in papers 2 or 3, it does provide areas to focus on, and we are thinking about topics that regularly appear in papers here. So as we've not yet finished, there is of course some chance that there could be some topics in the paper that we've not yet learned, but remember that we don't need to focus on those. So in terms of algebra, we've got inequalities. We haven't had any of those yet. Solving quadratics, completing the square, algebraic fractions, transformation of graphs, plotting linear graphs, equation of tangents, lots and lots of algebra that we have not yet seen any of. So if you wanted to focus some of your revision tonight on some algebra topics, there's a nice list on the screen for you to focus on. Obviously, only focus on those things that we have studied together in lesson. Geometry-wise, we've got transformations, so maybe enlargement, invariance. So invariant points, we've got Pythagoras, which is probably more likely to be embedded into a problem-solving question. Compound measures, so speed, density, pressure. Similarity, so it could be linear, area, or volume scale factors. I would avoid circle theorems, obviously, for the time being. We haven't seen those yet together. Bearings, we have seen, so there could be some bearings. Loci construction from year 10. Angles and parallel lines, metric conversions, so converting between units of length, area and volume. Statistics and probability, so we haven't had any yet of terms of cumulative frequency, box plots, medians, interquartile ranges, averages and frequency tables, product rule for counting, and like the probability of successive events, so this happening and this happening and this happening. Number, so product of prime factors and highest common factor and lowest common multiple. I mean, it comes up every year, so I'm surprised if we won't see it across either tomorrow or your paper later in the week. Bounds, standard form, compound interest, that sort of repeated percentage change and reverse percentage, those style of problems. And then I would completely ignore iteration for now because, again, not something we've done together yet. So if that was to come up, not a problem. We will be covering that in due time. Ratio and proportion, so basically all ratio questions. It's such a large part of the GCSE and really easy to weave into other questions as well. Capture, recapture, currency conversions, direct and inverse proportion, so those type of equation questions you have where you form your equation of proportion, or it could be a table of values. So again, what should you do tonight? So again, more topic focused revision. You can pop onto Sparks Maths and into your independent learning section, checking then that you're on GCSE for your curriculum, and you can type in whatever topic you want, click on the relevant answer that comes up, do the tasks, watch any helpful videos there. You've got exam queue, so this time I would just make sure that we're still on higher, but your papers are set to paper 2 and paper 3, and then you can type in your topic and select what you want to do. And again, remember there is a mark scheme, and it is the GCSE mark scheme, so you can really see exactly where those marks come from. Maths Genie, so go to Maths Genie and you've got those 2 options for you to get to that revision page. You just get that giant list of topics. It is in alphabetical order, I believe. I might be trying to split into grades actually, but have a little look down through there, and there's loads for you to do. Corbett Maths will also provide you with that similar sort of experience. So go to Corbett Maths, go to the videos and the textbook exercise page, and you've got an alphabetized list of all of the topics. And then first class maths. So again, a brilliant resource. Make sure you go to the GCSE Edexcel revision section, and then you've got again an alphabetized list of a whole bunch of topics with some fantastic questions and video explanations and solutions. For whole papers, I would head to Maths Genie and make sure I've clicked on the Edexcel exam papers. Check that you have scrolled down to the higher section, so I think foundation is at the top. Tomorrow morning, the hub will be open from 7 again. Make sure you bring in some questions that you haven't been able to answer or topics that you want help on, because there'll be loads of maths teachers around to help you. And then we'll move into the conservatory/canteen area and do our breakfast warm-up grits. That's everything from me then. Good luck with the rest of your revision tonight, and I'll see you in the morning.